We are in here with a very spicy Hawaiian chili pepper today, fam. Welcome in, much love, Trav here. Bringing you a brew that I've been having a lot of fun working on. Been having a lot of fun working on standard with the new format unfolding, with all the dual lands out, so many possibilities, so many players coming back into the game from MTG Arena, rebirth of the Pro League, Mastermind, so many people excited to work and working on each other's decks and breaking down the metagame, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So today I'm going to explain why I think this deck is actually pretty good, Gate Explosion, how it works, and also some pillars of the metagame. So the first thing, we know there's fast decks, there's red-black, Rakdos, there's Gruul, and there's good old mono red with Goblin Chain Whirler. These decks are fast. They've gotten faster with Skewer the Critics. They've gotten more resilient with Rick's Mighty Reveler, Theater of Horrors, and Light Up the Stage. And they set a fast speed for the Barometer format, forcing people tend to be reacting with Wild Growth, Walker, Jadelight, Ranger, and Merfolk Branchworker even more than before, so that's kind of something that's developing with the format. But one card that is defining the format, I knew it was a great card, but it's defining the format a lot more than we realized, is Hydroid Krasis. That card is slotting in at the top of green-black to be the unbeatable mid-range finisher. If you counter it, you still draw the cards. It's card advantage. Between Vivian, Hydroid Krasis, and Find Finality, you will draw your deck in the late game, drown them in cards, giant flyers, life gain. And we're seeing other Krasis ramp decks appear, Bant Krasis, Tamer Krasis, and so on. So I think actually the two pillars of the format are, to me, right now, is you have your fast red and you have your Krasis. So I think that if we even see Krasis as being the primary pillar of the format, you have two options. One, you're not going to beat it with just kind of, I mean, you can beat it with Mirror Match doing the same thing, but I don't think you're going to beat it countering the spell, countering the trigger, trying to grind through it with a different plan. I think you need to go way under it. So I think aggros is great, or I think that you need to go way over it. So this is to that extent, like, let's go way over it. And it's this, some of y'all saw my video on the Tamer Explosion, Tamer combo. This is an adjustment of that with, one, I think that sweepers are a lot better than fogs in this sort of a deck and in this environment. So Gate Ablaze is great, and I think that Guild Summit is quite a bit better than Chemister's Insight as a draw engine, because you're playing multiple lands a turn with the Nexus of Fates in the mid game. And that's better support for, to me, what's the most unbeatable end game in the format is Wilderness Reclamation, Nexus of Fate, Hydroid Krasis, Expansion Explosion. That pack of cards, no one's going over the top of that. I mean, if you are, I'd like to know how. I mean, you can try to, you can't really fight through it with counter spells because of Hydroid Krasis, and even Expansion is a counter spell back. It's hard. I mean, you're just you start. Let's talk about how this kind of works. You don't necessarily play Wilderness Reclamation on turn 4. There's scenarios like you play it on turn 6 with the tapped gate. You float a mana. You untap your 6 lands. You play Nexus of Fate. You hit your 8th land. You play Hydroid Krasis, draw 3 cards, untap your land, pass. You've got Explosion, maybe you've got another Nexus of Fate, and you're actually going to continue off to win. Once you're starting to draw a bunch of cards, you can play a second Wilderness Reclamation and just kill them with an Expansion Explosion to the face, but you're just chaining so much stuff. And if the cards that you draw don't matter, we can blow up the board with Gates Ablaze and Deafening Clarion, which I think is quite a bit better than Fog for what we're doing. Some other interactions that I like in this deck, we have Circuitous Route. You can copy with with Expansion. At 6 mana, if you have an extra Expansion, or you've got plenty of Krasis, you don't need it. And 6 mana, get 4 lands. add them, so you're ramping up to 10. If you have a Guild Summit, you're drawing 4 cards too. You're probably going to win that. And yeah, you can growth spiral, expansion. Numbers need tweaking a little bit, but I'm going the heaviest on the X spells because, like, okay, counter spells aren't necessarily going to answer it. I think actually Unmoored Ego is a pretty decent answer. But yeah, it's discard that would be the more worrisome thing. Targeted discard. But if we're playing 8 X spells, you're just going to start to chain them at some point, right? You're going to have redundancy on that. So this is the deck. We've got Growth Spiral is the only turn 2 play, although you can expansion it. We've got 4 Gates Ablaze, 2 Deafening Clarion to come down on turn 3. Or you probably don't even necessarily need to play it till turn 4 in this format unless it's mono red or the tokens, in which case those cards will buy you a lot of time. You can play more of them. I'm playing 20 gates and 6 untapped lands, 26 lands. 4 untapped red so that we can maximize our chance of sweeping on the 3rd turn if we need to do it. Moving from there, your Guild Summit start to go off with Circuitous Route, Growth Spiral, draw buckets of cards. Nexus of Fate, transition into combo. You can also expansion to copy Gates Ablaze or Deafening Clarion for a massive sweeper. And just go way over the top of everything. So I like that more than playing like Gatebreaker Ram and Colossus, because I mean the opponent can get to the point where they play like 2-3 Colossus, and then you just ignore and go way over the top, burning their face out, comboing off with turns. And I like being able to come back from anything. I also like that you can even the board from anything. You can Gates Ablaze, expansion it. You don't have to chain fogs or anything like that. So it's a little bit more redundant, a little bit more robust. What's bad about the deck is right now it's, I guess, it sucks that 20 of your lands come into play tapped. We have the sweepers, but we can get run over, obviously, and lose on tempo. And you do have to be a little bit careful with your enchantments. You don't want to just run aground Vivian. And we do have Expansion Explosion, but well, we can be caught off guard by a Frilled Mystic. Can't really counter that one back. But it's a spicy one. Recommend you test it out. Check it out. I sent it over to Saffron Olive and Ali Antrazi. Reason being, I'm retired from streaming and making videos. Probably forever, but at least for now. I like my life outside of it. I think about it sometimes, but there's not a whole lot of time that I would want to do it. Oh no, never say never. I wouldn't say probably forever. It's possible I would make a comeback. But yeah, that's the deck. Those who want more in-depth, you want to be in the discussion and working on the metagame and the metagame decks inside here, and we also do modern and sealed and so on, but work with coaches and pros. You should go ahead and apply to the mastermind. There's a link to that below. And for those of you who want to build better decks, you can get my ebook for 15 bucks, Deck Mastery, thousands of copies sold. There's also a paper version, and it's all about building better decks. So you can do it alone, you can do it with the team, you can do it with us. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate you, and look forward to hearing what you have to say. Take care, fam.